Kevin from Silvino Guitars here. This is my truss rod / carbon fiber jig. I made it out of boards of MDF. So that's the base plate. I ordered these CNC rails off of eBay that come with these roller bearings to slide back and forth. And I use this plexiglass to basically make another base to mount my router on. And I made it out of plexiglass, that way I can see what I'm doing when I'm cutting. So after you buy it from eBay, the only thing you need to worry about is that the distance between this point and this point and these 2 points are the same. After that, pretty sure you will get a accurate straight cut without any binding from the bearing rails. Alright, so I made this jig when I was pretty early on in my guitar building and woodworking. So this is pretty much really basic. I wish I could design some other features to make it go up and down, and something that I suggest if you guys want to do this yourselves is to make these wider, because I did want to make a 2 truss rod, 3 carbon fiber, 8-string neck, but the width of these 2 areas did not let me do that. So that's the one thing I would change. Maybe I'll get to it some other time. Something that's really helpful is to put center lines all the way down and double check with your with your bit on the center lines that you drew up in your neck, so you make sure you're making a straight cut and not at an angle. So let's use this example. I have these 3 necks that I'm going to put truss rods and carbon fiber rods in them. So something that happens depending on the size of your rails is you're gonna have a certain height, and depending on your router bit how deep it can go, that will determine if you need to raise the piece. So I have this other piece of MDF that I've drew the center line on, because if I just lay my neck here, the router bit will not reach. So on this shim over here, now my router bit can fit. Now it would reach to the actual neck. Now I've had made necks before where they were too thick. This one fits, but I've had necks before where the shim wasn't necessary and I can just set it right here. This piece might not need the shim, but since it fits, I'm just gonna leave it right there where it is. Also, I made this cutout right here because on one of those thick necks that I made a tilt back headstock. The tilt back was a little bit deeper than the actual neck, so it would sit at an angle. So with doing this, the neck can kind of go down to this cutout and not have a problem. I hope the camera can pick it up. Here I have drawn out the center line where the truss rod is going to be, and 2 lines on the side where the carbon fiber rods are going to be. And also I drew where the truss rod gets a little bit thicker over here, because these sections of the truss rod need to be a little wider. If not, it won't fit. And I also drew where I want the truss rod axis for the Allen wrench to start. I also measured out where I want my truss rod and carbon fiber rods to start and end. I use this Yonico 1/4 inch spiral bit for easier cut, but I will have to step up to a bigger router bit to get to the thicker sides of where the truss rod is going to be. And for the carbon fiber rods, I use these Yonico 13/64 of an inch cutter, and it fits these carbon fiber rods really nice, really snug and tight. If I press them in too hard, it's gonna be really difficult to pull out. I also drew these lines right here where is the maximum lengths that I can pull my base out, because if I get this rail past this line, this will happen. This roller will fall out. It will go down a bit, and it can be a pretty nasty time for your neck. You can cause some damage, some tear out, and we don't want none of that. So with knowing all that, now you can go ahead and build your own. I saw this from a picture on Instagram from Big D Guitars, and I said, wow, that's genius. So thanks to him for making that post, and inspired me to build my own and build better quality instruments. Thank you.